official national mourning has officially started today, as announced by government. As you remember from the previous broadcast, we were still standing by, we were waiting for the update from government, which was given by Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, where he tabulated the directives that he got from the sitting head of state, President Hakainde Hichilema, on how to proceed with the funeral of the late president, that's Edgar Chagwa Lungu. So since then, direction has been given, and Given Luinda has also responded to it, referring to say they had already started their seventh-day national mourning or PF mourning, not national mourning. So pretty much the government is simply replicating what the PF has already tabulated. But other former heads of state are sending in their condolences, and one of them is former President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya. Says, "It is with deep sorrow and profound sadness that I have learned of the passing of my dear friend and brother, His Excellency Edgar Chagwa Lungu, former president of Zambia. President Lungu was not only a distinguished statesman and who served his country with dedication and honor, but also a man of humility, wisdom, and unwavering faith." So Uhuru Kenyatta was simply sharing his memories of Edgar Chagwa Lungu there, and he sent it through that message. Say he remembers him as a brother and as a friend. So clearly, this funeral eventually is going to be attended by either sitting presidents or former heads of state. That element is clear. So probably it's just a coordination between government and the family of the late president on how to proceed about it. But the rest of the continent and the world, you can see they are sending their messages, and we wait and see. But this is what's going on. Edgar Chagwa Lungu's family and state in deadlock, pretty much shocked that government has declared the seventh day of national mourning for President Lungu 4 days before his mortal remain arrive in the country. As lawyer Makebi Zulu, the family spokesperson, warns any antagonistic overtones from government against the family against the family's desire shall not be accepted. So that's what's coming from Makebi Zulu. As you are aware, government has officially declared the national mourning as of today, right now, which is running until the 14th. Then I'll read to you what the Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, said about it. So during this press brief, that's where the update came through from government direction. And these are the highlights that were presented by the Ministry of Information and Media. So they say, President Hichilema declares seventh day national mourning from 8th June to Saturday, 14th June 2025, in honor of the late former president Edgar Chagwa Lungu. And just a second. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. This afternoon, Secretary to the Cabinet, Mr. Patrick Kangwa, held a press brief, and below are the highlights of the press brief that he had, pretty much charting the course of direction from government. So government of the Republic of Zambia wishes to inform members of the public that President Hakainde Hichilema has accorded a state funeral to His Excellency Mr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, the 6th President of the Republic of Zambia, who died in South Africa on Thursday, 5th June 2025. The government of the Republic of Zambia has been engaging and consulting the family and other stakeholders. That's another point. And then government wishes to announce that the body of the 6th President will arrive in the country on Wednesday, 11th June 2025. And then another point, members of the public are also advised that the funeral gathering for the late president will be at Belvedere Lodge along Leopards Hill Road in Kablonga, Lusaka. President Hichilema has declared 7th-day period of national mourning from Sunday, 8th June 2025 to Saturday, 14th June 2025. This is in line with the guidelines relating to former Republican president. This is in honor of the late president, in recognition of his immense contribution to the nation as 6th President of the Republic of Zambia. Members of the public are requested to observe 7 days of national mourning from 6 a.m. to 18 hours by postponing or cancelling all entertainment activities while the flag shall fly at half-mast. And then public will be updated on other funeral arrangements later. So that's the update that came from government. And the gathering at the PF Secretariat has continued. Those are some of the images from the people that have been visiting the funeral house at the. But then again, right after that announcement was given by government, people took some pictures of the Belvedere Lodge where the government. This is the official location that has been communicated by government. And then you can see people are just commenting to say it's empty, no one was there. And then people are like, no, since this announcement was given in the night yesterday, probably by today they will expect people to be there since it's the official location for the funeral. And obviously, Simon Moore chipped in to say, PF, stop embarrassing yourselves. You have a lot of members of parliament asking, ask them to mobilize funds to feed mourners at the secretariat. So because most of the people are still going at the PF secretariat, so that's the job that came from Simon Mwewa. And then immediately these images started circulating of some bulls that have been chopped up, pretty much being taken to the PF secretariat. This is different from the government official location where government has said, which is open to the public, the lodge that was mentioned by Patrick Kangwa, secretary to the cabinet. So they say this is posted by Patriotic Front, say the bulls are like seed, pretty much. Mukandira slaughters 2 bulls and brought from the auction in Choma, and says the Tose Alliance Youth chairperson has bought those bulls and it's taken 2 bulls, are the ones that is slaughtered, and taken them for people to eat at the funeral house there. And then Simon doubled down, said the funeral house, the Patriotic Front Secretariat has become the official funeral house. Hundreds of people will gather there over the next few days. Who will feed them? The PF should plan carefully for this very important part of the funeral. So pretty much there was a back and forth between Simon Mo and the PF platforms, and that's where that sort of booze came through. But this morning, Diamond TV went through to Belvedere Lodge, the official location. So Diamond TV posted this: Belvedere Lodge in Lusaka, the official place of mourning declared by government following the death of 6th President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. And the place was still empty as people were hoping today some traffic would be going there, but still nothing. And then immediately Diamond TV posted in comparison. They say a photo focus. Meanwhile, at the Patriotic Front Secretariat, it's a hive of activity. So it's these things that that are causing, I don't know if you would call them debates or whatever is going on, but yeah, that's what's going on. So we wait and see how that plays out. And then Minister of Information, the funeral gathering for late former President Edgar Lungu will be held at Belvedere Lodge, Leopards Hill in Kablonga. So that's where those images that I showed you were taken from. So as of today, there was no traffic there, but the Patriotic Front Secretariat had those traffics. Traffic best of that those images I've shown you. And then they even posted that they continue to gather at Patriotic Front offices for morning. Book of condolences opened at the party secretariat. So that's what's going on. So it's because of these clear tone of, I don't know if you would call it tug of tug of war between government and the Edgar Lungu family, or the people that are speaking on behalf of the Edgar Lungu family, that prompted Dickson Jere to offer his view. So if you remember, Dickson Jere was the official press aide for the late president, Rupia Banda. So he had this to say: President Lungu's funeral. The death of Zambia's 6th president, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, presents 2 unique scenarios for the country. Government and the family, unlike the 3 former presidents who passed before him, Kenneth Kaunda, Frederick Chiluba, FTJ, and Rupia Banda. The death of President Lungu is different, and then he highlights where the bone of contention is. This is Dickson J. So they say, aside, different from that, the death of President Lungu is different in two ways. So that's one, he is the first former president to have died outside Zambia. So he states to say all the former presidents died within Zambia. So he's the first former president to have died out of Zambia, because as you may be aware, he died in South Africa. He goes further to say, two, he is the first former president to have died while his benefits had been withdrawn. So as you may be aware, President Lungu, once he came back into active politics, his presidential benefits were withdrawn by government. So he says those are the two unique things that are standing out on the situation with the current funeral taking place. And he goes further to say, so the country has never experienced this before. Therefore, the standoff between the family and the state is somehow understood given the circumstances. However, there is need for compromise. The first former president to die was Chiluba. I was in government then, and I was deeply involved in the process. He died at home in Lusaka. He died at home in Zambia. I remember I had to persuade President Banda, that's Rupia Banda, to address the nation while we were in Chipata to announce the death of at a makeshift studio in Maruma Lodge. Everything went smooth because President Banda and Chiluba had reconciled and become close buddies. Chiluba had locked up Rupia Banda on treason charges. So he said they had reconciled for that, and that's how Chiluba's funeral was able to proceed smoothly. And then the second former president to die was Kaunda. At the time, Edgar Lungu was president. Their relationship was superb and therefore easy to navigate between the government and the family. The only difference was that the burial site, which was later resolved, and KK was buried at the Presidential Embassy Park. So he said the only difference that was between KK's funeral was where to bury him, but they resolved that and he was buried at the Embassy Park. He goes further to say the third former president to die was Banda. I was once again heavily involved in the process. President Banda was in good books with the newly elected President Hakainde Hichilema, and so everything went smooth between government and the family. I may add that RB was so organized in his life that he even left a pre-burial will that stated some of the things to happen at his funeral. I have since borrowed that ingenious idea of pretty much like his pre-burial program. He has copied that from his former boss. And then now take note. All the three former presidents at their death had a running office financed by the state with government staff. They coordinated all the activities, and simply a former president's whereabouts was always known by government through the office. When they traveled, Zambian ambassadors received them at the airport and coordinated their movements with dignity. However, with President Lungu, the office was shut down on account of being in active politics, which is prescribed by the Benefits of Former President Act. So he literally did these things outside government involvement. That was a unique situation. Hence, the current quagmire, he states. He says that's where the problem comes in, because he did these things separately and he was no longer under government's pretty much government's benefits. And then what should we do now? He says one thing you cannot take away is that Lungu was the president and the commander-in-chief of armed forces. He must be given his full military honor. We must allow our defense forces to send off their commander with full military honor. He must get his last presidential gun salute, fly past, and guard of honor. He accrued those rights. His casket must be placed on the gun carriage with his number plate GRZP6. Was done to others, and the pride, and is our pride, and it is our responsibility to honor him. So he simply states that that's what should happen with regard to that, the standoff between government should, and then he goes to say, lastly, it is high time we put in the past we put in place the statute that will govern the funeral and memorial service of our former leaders. We cannot be having standoffs each time we have such a funeral or memorial. The law must define the role of the state in the funeral arrangements, burial and rites. For such ceremonies, for now, everything is guesswork, plus a mere policy and guidelines. We must learn, we have lost the sixth president thus far, and we have lost six presidents thus far. So he says, at this point, there should be a policy to guide how things will proceed. That's Dixon Jere offering his 2 cents. And then Obvious Mariteta also at the press brief earlier on, he was responding to Rafael Nakachinda. So this was posted by UPND Zambia. So it's a press statement for immediate release in response to the statement that was issued by, so it's a UPND Lusaka province chairperson Mariteta calls for dignity and respect in honor of former president. So Mr. Mariteta emphasized that the UPND would not condone provocations during this sensitive period and urged the church and other moral voices in society to counsel the public on the importance of respecting those in positions of authority. He warned that making irresponsible or ridiculous statements, especially those known to be false, amounts to serious provocation. He reminded the public that no situation, including a funeral place or anything makes anything above the law or anyone above the law. Deliberate attempts to mislead or incite the public will be met with equal firmness by the UPND. Mr. Mariteta also revealed that the government is aware of a letter being circulated by the Patriotic Front, alleged written by a deputy to the secretary to the cabinet, which falsely suggests that the state had imposed a travel ban on the former president. He stated that the document has been submitted to the law enforcement agencies and for investigation under applicable cybercrime laws. Mr. Mariteta reaffirmed that the former President Lungu should be accorded the dignity and respect befitting his status as former head of state, and cautioned the Patriotic Front members against exploiting his passing for political gain. So issued by United Party for National Development, UPND, Lusaka Province team, and signed off there. That's a statement coming from UPND. What is the family, let's say, maybe Hakainde Hichilema was unsatisfied with my work. That's Peter Mombasa filed PS. And then News Diggers goes further to say family rejects government help in repatriating Lungu's body as Hakainde Hichilema sets 7-day national mourning. So according to the News Diggers, the Lungu family has refuted any help bringing back Edgar Lungu's body from South Africa. So they said they will coordinate that, and the government will only take it up once he lands in the country at the airport. So that's what's going on. And then Sunday Mail says 7-day mourning. President Hichilema accords Edgar Lungu state funeral. Then the same dates that I had announced there. And then his 7th day for ECL as former president's body arrives on Wednesday, 11th June, pretty much the same headline being repeated in different tabloids. And then the mass newspaper says Edgar Lungu wouldn't have died had government not blocked him from traveling to South Africa until it was too late. Family. So those conversations that seem to be persisting there. And then Mwimbu risks going to jail, warns KBF, that's Kelvin Fuwewaria there. And then right now, it seems like Mulambo Himbe, that's he's back in the country. He had led the delegation that had gone to South Africa to go and make arrangements with the Lungu family on how to proceed with the funeral. So he's online today answering some questions with Costa Mwansa on how the country is going to proceed. But that's the news, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what's going on with the state funeral.